What was the worst fog you went through?
Well, I don't remember what year it was, but it was just after the war. No. It might have been during the war when it was blackout as well as foggy. And you couldn't see a thing. The traffic had to be stopped. The buses didn't run or anything like that because you couldn't see where they were going. And we'd been dancing and we came out to this terrible fog. And the boys we were with were lighting matches to find the curbstone. And I think that was the worst fog, with it being blackout as well. What was the worst fog?
What was the worst fog you went
I don't really remember. I didn't go out much in the fog. Stayed home. In case I got lost.
Right.
It's going well.
What did you do when you first left school?
I left school in 1939 just as war started, and I went to be a machinist. There was no choice of jobs. You went where your mother told you to go, and she said I would be a machinist, and that's what it was. And we started off by making raincoats, but within a couple of months we were on war work, making khaki suits and flying suits, anti-gas suits, all sorts of things, but it was sewing. And that's what I remained doing.
What did you do when you first left school?
I didn't do anything. Stayed at home till I was 19 and then I went to work.
Tell me something about school.
Tell you something about school? Well, our headmistress was a nun, very, very strict. Some of the teachers were okay, but boys and girls were divided to two different schools. You couldn't mix with them, couldn't even talk to them at playtime. We used to have little bottles of milk. That was a big treat. Some days the classrooms weren't heated and the milk would be frozen when you got it during the winter, and you'd have about an inch of ice sticking up from the top of the bottle. That's it.
Tell me something about school.
Well, I used to love school, but the school I went to was that small. And if we played games like boys and girls, we had to go on the prom in New Brighton and have the big field everywhere, so I used to love it.
What memories do you have of the war?
Lots of memories of the war. One of the memories is we'd been down to the air raid shelter, and the bomb, an unexploded bomb had dropped in the shop that was behind our house, and we were all evacuated to Trafford Road School. So we'd been there for hours, and my brother decided that he wanted to go home because he'd done some exams and the papers were at home. So we ran all the way back. We wasn't supposed to be on the street, so we dodged down all the entries till we got home. We went in the house, he found his papers, I went cleaning my teeth, and then the bomb went off and it shook the house. All the glass from the windows went, the plaster come off the walls, and we ran as fast as we could then back to the centre where we'd been sent, and said to everybody, you can go home now, the bomb's gone off.
What memories do you have of the war?
Well, where I lived at New Brighton, the Yanks were billeted, so I remember chewing gum, asking the Yanks, and that's all really.
What games did you play in the street?
They played lots of games, and there used to be the gangs of kids from the neighbourhood used to play rally-vo, kick the can, hide and seek, lots of running, always running about. And we played house, dolls from prams. I can't think of other things.
What games did you play in the street?
Hopscotch, chasing the ball, whip and top. Just
always running,
anything to pass the time on, you know, and that's it.
What did you do with your time when you were young?
Well, when you're young, you mean teenagers, because it used to be dancing. Pictures, the films used to change. Used to have two films to change on Wednesdays. and we'd go to the pictures twice a week if we could afford it. And the nights was dancing, Madam Jones's and Langworthy Studios, and when we got a bit older it was the Ritz and the Plaza in Manchester. And that would be dancing mad. Right.
What did you do with your time when you was young?
Mostly work, because we had business in New Brighton Tower. So I was there when the Beatles was there, and Gary and the Pacemakers, and all them lot. I used to meet them all, because we had the cafe open till midnight. So, just work.
Was that all right?
That was good.
I thought my head was going to fall.
All right.
Top notch.
I remember bits more, you know. Okay.